A very good day to Dr. Sabarina. My name is Jonathan Laulibin and today I'm going to explain my code in assignment 2. So the source where I got is from Facebook, Jabatan Kesihatan Negeri Sembilan. This is the link and this is the page. So from here, I put two images here which are the cases in 13 March and 14 March. So from here, how do I get all these data? Which I use cumulative number of cases in 14 March minus by the cumulative number of cases in 13 March. Numbers are 16702 and 16681. So when I minus it, I got 21. So here, 21 daily new cases for 14 March. So same goings with I calculate for the recovered and the dead cases, and also all the dates at here for 14 days. Next, I will explain my full code and output. So in my full code, I start with my full code with hashtag include iOS stream, which is the header file to support the console input and output in C++. Next, I'm using hashtag include iomanip, and this is a header file to use set precision. Next, I use hashtag define to define my variable n as 14. So this 14 depicts 14 days. Next, this is using namespace std, and this is a statement that using standard namespace to see using directive. Here, I have three user-defined functions which are all the headings. And this is the function prototype to make my code be more tidy. Here, this is my main function, and in void, I start with declaring 1D array of C, R, and D, which are the size elements are 14. C is the daily new cases, R is the record cases, and D is the date cases. All these array are 1D array and in type integer. Next, I assigning the arrays with the array index start with 0, which is the first array, and the last array is 13. Next, I start with my first user-defined function, which is the void function, and as we know that void function does not return any value type. So the function name is cases, and I have three parameters here, which are C, R, and D. All are in array with 14 elements, and all are in type integer. Here, I'm using command output to display all the string at here, and I'm using end line to insert a new line. Same goes with this line, and I'm using for loop from here with the start value is I equal to 0 when I already declare I is an integer, and the condition is I less than n is 14, and the increment is I plus plus, which is the new I is the old I adds 1. Here, again, I'm using command output that we know that I initial value is 0, 0 plus 14 is 14, so the first value is 14. Next, in the second round, 1 plus 14 is 15 and goes on until 27. Same goes with the C, R, and D array, which are all the numbers, all the value from the main function. So in the main function, I call the function with the function name cases, and the parameters are C, R, and D as I already declared and top here. So this first user-defined function are used to display all the data. In the output, yes, it displays all the data. Notice from here that I have another new line here, which is the cases from the first day COVID-19 and up to 13 March, which are the numbers are 16681 for daily new cases, 16148 for recovered cases, and 30 for dead cases. These numbers are used to calculate for the overall cases later. In the second user-defined function, the return value type is integer and the function name is display total case. I have three parameters here, which are total case, total rec, and total dates. All these are in array and in type integer. Next, I declaring some C, some R, and some D equal to 0. All are in type integer. Some C, some R, and some D is the cases from 14 March until 27 March. This one is the daily new cases, this is the recovered cases, and this is the dead cases. Next, I'm using for loop by using the same condition from here, but the difference is I'm using plus equal from here. This is the summation I use to calculate from the 14 March until 27 March for daily new cases, recovered cases, and dead cases. Again, from here, I'm using command output, which I use to show up all the data for overall cases. So notice that from here again, some C, some R, and some D is the cases from 14 March until 27 March, daily new cases, recovered cases, and dead cases. And these three values are the cases from the first day COVID until 13 March. Here I return value for some C, some R, and some D. So it shows that when I'm using this user-defined function, I have three values. So in the main function, I put the function name display total case with the parameters C, R, and D. In the output, again, it shows up three values, which is 17170 is the overall total daily new cases, 16836 is the overall total recovered cases, and 31 is the overall total dead cases. In my third user-defined function, the return value type is float, and the function name is percentage, again with same parameters, with same type of integer, same type of variable. And here I'm using the same step from the second user-defined function. The difference is I'm adding PR and PD for here by declaring it all with double, which I'm using to pop up the decimal places. PR is the percentage of recovered cases and PD is the percentage of dead cases. Here I'm assigning PR is the overall recovered cases divided by the overall of total daily new cases. PD is the overall dead cases divided by the overall total daily new cases. So here I'm using typecasting from here to ensure that the equation from the left side and the right side should be the same, which are all in double to pop up the decimal places. Again, here I'm using command output again, but the difference is I'm using fixed and set precision tool. This tool function is used to display two decimal places when I'm calling out PR and PD. In here, I return PR and PD. It shows that when I'm using this user-defined function, I have to return two values. In my main function again, I put the function name percentage and the parameters are C, R, and D. So in the output, it only got two values, which is 98.05%, which is the percentage of recovered cases, and 0.18%, which is the percentage of dead cases. Last but not the least, in the main function, I end with the sync gate, which is the sync gate is used to hold my output and display in the executable file, which is the output here. This is the executable file .exe. So that is all my explanation in my assignment 2. Thank you.